Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but I picked the car up at a storage there maybe 2 weeks ago, and we got Honda Flashpro installed, and we are running the TSP beta map that I got off of Derek Robinson at InnovativeMotorWorks. And right now we have the bumper off the FL5. We are going to upgrade the stock intercooler for, of course, PRL billet intercooler. And I don't know if we're going to get into it today, but we might end up throwing on the downpipe depending how much time we have. So PRL catless downpipe. I found one of the last ones in Canada. So anyway, yeah. So car came out 2 weeks ago. We got Honda, or actually the car came out 3 weeks ago because it took about a week and a half from Nova Scotia, Canada to ship the ECU to Honda, get it jailbroken, get it back, and we got it back in the car. And yeah, after it was jailbroken, we threw Flashpro on it, and right away I had issues with the Honda base map. It was every time you got into boost, I was getting an overboost issue. Anyway, I always deal with Derek Robinson, so like I said, I got the TSP beta map from him, and the car works really well. I ended up running 2 Craftworks 9th gens. One was on the I think it's a 110 pulley and meth, and unfortunately we didn't really get clean runs in, so it was really close. It looked like maybe he was going to pull on me in 4th gear, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll try that one again. And I ran another one, I think on the 110 pulley, but he was on 91 octane like me, rather than he doesn't have meth. And that race was pretty tight until about 4th gear, and the FL5 actually took that race. So I'll post that up probably throughout this video at some point. But right now we are going to work on the intercooler. So for this here, there is, I'll come over to here. There is 1, 2, 3 clips, and there's one actually hidden under the rubber. So if you go over here, same thing, 1, 2, 3, and there's one hidden there. And then we have the 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top. And after that, there's a ton underneath. Like, I should have did this earlier, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people doing an install video, and PRL's instructions they're not super detailed, but they're pretty straightforward. You're going to just take those clips out, and there's a couple of 10 mil bolts in there. Anyway, after that, after you get all those clips out and those bolts, actually there's a couple Phillips heads too, and after that, you just have to be careful, because you're going to pull it from here, get it off those clips, and underneath the headlight there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you just have to be really careful. It's plastic, like, it kind of sucks, but this is probably the first bumper I pulled off with these plastic headlight brackets, and I didn't break any of them, thank God. And if I don't break it, I usually tear one of these. With the older cars, like the 8th gen had metal, and I usually tore one of them. Well, I took my time. I baited it for like, I don't know, an hour. I was terrified to pull it off, but anyway, I have that jammed under there now just because this was bent down. Like, I didn't put any force on it to go down. I was trying to lift it up, but anyway, that one looked like it was kind of crushed down from the factory because it was really tight on this side trying to get the bumper off from the headlight. But whatever, it is what it is. After all that stuff's done, you can pull the bumper off. I recommend do it with 2 people. It's definitely a lot easier. I did it with 1 and it was a pain in the ass. And for anybody in Canada, when it goes, you have to unplug this here. And I don't know if the US has them, but the parking sensors, I thought I had the bumper off and I went to pull it off and I was stuck to the car. So parking sensor there and parking sensor there. So I definitely recommend doing that with 2 people for sure. Like, see, parking sensor. So like I said, 2 people. I'll never pull that off by myself again because I almost dropped it. I had the cardboard underneath, but still, I don't want to drop the bumper. Anyway, a couple little thoughts about the TSP tune. It works awesome. Like, I'd say, according to the butt dyno, I'd say we are looking at probably 50 wheel horsepower and 50 wheel torque gain. So it's huge. Like, this car feels a lot better than my PRL Turbo 10th gen and my Kraftwerk Supercharged 9th gen. Car feels super healthy. And I had a stock Gen 3 Coyote, and I dare say this pulls even better than that. But anyway, we'll save that for another time. Maybe once we get the intercooler downpipe, we will load up the stock tune and see if we can we'll get a baseline. I know it has parts, so it's not 100% stock, but maybe we'll get a baseline after this, and then we'll try to get a run in with the Honda tune just to see, but I have a feeling it's going to trip an overboost code, but we may try that. And after that, we will try the TSP tune. So it'd be pretty cool to get a baseline of its stock with the parts, then Honda's flash, and then with the TSP stage 1. Anyway, let's unbox this intercooler. I'll let you guys take a look. So there's the intercooler. We will get this out of the box over here, and we'll just take a look in the box and see what we got. We have the PRL stencil for the intercooler. We are going to go ahead and, actually, I'm undecided. I may use that, I may not. We got a PRL license plate frame, lanyard. Let's see what else. Some stickers. This one here looks pretty cool. I might throw that on the car. And the pieces that go between the intercooler and bumper itself to seal it. And now, let's unbox this. This looks awesome with the billet end tanks, PRL etched into the end tanks. Man, that looks so good. Made in the USA. These billet end tanks look awesome. Just a quick inspection. There's no damage to the fins at all. It was packaged really good. So that's awesome to see. I don't expect any less from PRL. Now, to decide, am I going to paint this or not? black PRL logo, or I might just leave it as is. Also for this, now that we're kind of in the middle of it, there is two 12s there, bolt the intercooler in there, two 12s here, same thing, and then there's a 10 mil that goes to the bracket to the chassis, and there's a 10 mil here that goes bracket to chassis. So we can take that out and we'll get a look. No brainer. The PRL intercooler is way bigger, and definitely a lot thicker. For the FL5, I don't know, like maybe this is sufficient, but it seems like junk to me. It's just well, maybe it's not junk, but it's an ugly core with these plastic end tanks, which I'm not really a fan of at all. We're gonna reuse these on the intercooler, and we're gonna cut these tabs off. So don't forget that, or you'll have a boost leak. And they're just gonna sit right inside these grooves. But anyway, we will mock that up in the car, and I guess I'll decide if I'm gonna paint this or not. All right, so for the ambient air temperature, ambient air sensor, it sits right here. So you just take it out of there, cut that off, and it gets mounted into this little air dam here. So 5/16 bit, drill up into that, and this will sit in place there. And I did decide to paint the intercooler. I did a few coats. It kind of ran a little bit here, went underneath the stencil. Same with around the air, but whatever. You're not going to see it from a distance, but I went ahead and did that. And you're going to reuse these stock mounts that mounted to the chassis, and you're going to use the OEM gaskets. So where it goes, the end tanks to the charge pipes. And for anybody wondering what color paint I use, here it is. Low gloss black DE1634. So I picked this up at Canadian Tire. It is, I didn't want a flat black, so they didn't have gloss black, so they had this low gloss, so I went ahead with that. Anyway, we will throw it in the car now and see how it looks. All right, as you can see, intercooler is on. So there's, like I was saying before, there's a 10 mil there, goes the mount from the intercooler to the chassis. Then there's two 12s. That's where the ambient air temp sensor is. And like I said, same thing here. There's a 10 there, 12, 12. There's rubber grommets with the bracket on top, both brackets. And there's rubbers that sit down here on the bottom. Don't forget them. I forgot the bottom ones. I only put the top ones in. Didn't know what the hell was going on, but they were still attached to the stock intercooler. Now, trying to decide what's next. I was gonna throw the bumper on and call it a night. Just install the intercooler and get on out of here. But I think since I have the car ripped apart, I think I'm gonna tackle the downpipe and just get it done, so I don't have to tie up the shop again. So anyway, I think that's the plan. We are going to go ahead and install the catless downpipe. So yeah, we're gonna do everything at once. Downpipe's up next.